Well, sometimes you just never know where the next great idea is going to come from. Recently, a Pembroke company made headlines for patenting a design for a 20-kilometer high space elevator.
But only the company's mailing address is in Pembroke. This big idea actually came from the middle of nowhere. CTV's Eric Longley explains.
Far from the madding crowd, miles from civilization, into the remote reaches of eastern Ontario's Algonquin Park, stands one of Canada's great wonders of science.
It's the best kept secret in Algonquin Park, perhaps.
It is the Algonquin Radio Observatory, capable of tracking satellites, probes, and the faintest of radio waves from the far reaches of space.
It's 46 meters in diameter. It's the largest in Canada and one of the largest fully steerable dishes in the world.
Yet so remote, you can't even make a cell phone call. This is a federally mandated radio quiet zone to prevent interference. Built in 1965, the massive dish was facing demolition a decade ago. That's when Caroline Roberts and her husband, space engineer Brendan Quine, took it over.
You can walk up to the edge.
Amazingly, they learned how to repair and run the massive machine. They created Thoth technology, providing a range of services to private industry and universities. And now they have an even bigger idea. They have secured a U.S. patent for a 20-kilometer tall space elevator. And they say it could be built in the next 10 years. It's an idea that's making headlines around the world. So how did such a big idea come from such a remote location? Well, when you're already working with equipment this big, there's nowhere to go but up.
It's certainly conducive to having great ideas, to see all this natural beauty around you. I also think that maybe working with these giant 1,500-ton telescopes also makes you think big about projects.
A big project that will now take some big partnerships to build it. If you're interested, you know where to find them. Now, that space elevator, can it actually work? Well, you can decide that tomorrow in part 2 of my report. I talked with the couple at great length about their bold plan and what it could mean, not just for space travel, but for all of us. Imagine flying from New York to Australia in 6 hours. I'll have those details coming up this time tomorrow night.